Well, hello, good morning, and welcome back to the Bait Cave. Well, we're already a few days into September. I hope all you guys are doing good out there. We're doing good down here in southeast Texas. Our weather's getting a little bit milder. By no means chilly whatsoever. It's still hot. We're still getting up in the 90s. And last night, when I hit the rack, I was under the impression from the weatherman that there'll be no chance of rain today. But of course, it's raining out there, which is not very conducive to pouring plastic baits. But I'm still going to try it anyway. I got the vacuum chamber all ready to go. Suck that moisture out of there, and we'll just have to see what happens. What I'll be working on today is a core shot project. I'll be using two different molds. I'll be using a 5-inch stick bait, which resembles a Senko, 5-inch Senko, and a 7-inch speed worm. Let me show those to you right here. So this is the 5-inch stick core shot. See, it looks like the regular Senko design by Yamamoto. We just call them sticks because these aren't really exactly like Senkos. They're just a good close copy. And then the core shot, this is how this is going to work. This rod will sit in here just like that. Is that a good? You can see that rod. It's going to sit in here when we shoot the case. When I inject the plastic into the casing, it's going to surround itself around this rod, and then that'll be pulled out, and then we'll wind up with an empty casing, and we'll shoot a core down the middle of it. Now, back in the old days, these are really popular now. Core shots are getting more and more popular every day. But back in the old days, we used to have to just cut our own rods and just set them in here the best we could. The mold wasn't really capable of holding the rod, and it was kind of tough getting it centered. There was a lot of issues to making your own rods because you didn't get to bridge the gap right here and hold it dead center. So that's a big improvement to actually getting a mold designed to be a core shot. And then this is the 7-inch speed worm. This is a big worm. It's huge. But it also has the ability right here to put a rod in it like that. Shoot the casing first. Shoot the casing first, and then come back and shoot the tail. And the colors I want to do is a very popular, just a black and blue. If I had to guess, I would say black and blue Senkos are as popular, or maybe only second to 156 green pumpkin. It's just a really go-to color. And it's always been very productive anywhere in the country, maybe in the world, I don't know, but in the country it's very productive. So the reason I want to make a black and blue full with a core shot black and blue is because I remember, I think it was Zoom or I don't know where I saw them, but a while back I saw a black and blue worm with a little blue tail and a blue tip. So, and that's what I'm thinking about doing today, is trying to copy a old pattern that I remember from years ago. So the plastic I'm gonna be using is, I just call it house blend. I actually got the idea from Bait Plastics because they do sell when they clean their machines out, they do sell just a blend of whatever's in all the machines, and they'll sell that a little bit cheaper per gallon. You don't know what the diameter is because it's just the way it comes out. And that's what I do with mine. When I get down to, like, you know, a non-usable amount that's not of a certain diameter, and I don't want to throw it away because it's still good plastic. However, it's just not enough to get into a new project. So I pour them all into this 1 gallon right here. I drain what I can out of the jugs, and it's just a whole different blend. And I use this a lot for worms and stuff. It's not a precision diameter of plastic, but it works good. And of course, you know, like on the Senkos or the StickBaits, I don't add the salt to mine. So I use them a lot in what would be like a wacky rig or something. So this diameter kind of gives it a good action. And then today, what I was thinking about speed worms, I like a lot of action on my speed worms. So I just thought I would try to use some of this up. My jug is full. I can't get no more in it, and I got some down in my rack that are going to be needing a new place to put them soon because they're running low. So I figured I better use some of this up. And as far as the rain out here, I don't like working on a lot of plastics in the rain because of the moisture. I'm already dealing with moisture down here in this neck of the woods, but I'm going to be using a vacuum chamber a lot today, so I'm going to try to beat that. And the only other materials I need is the on the casing. I was going to add some pretty large blue flake. The casing's going to be black, and then the core is going to be blue. But this core shot, unlike other core shots, well, let me backtrack a little bit in history. These core shots are really, really cool at shooting a fairly translucent casing, and then a real bold core down the middle, and it looks great. One day I'm gonna do that. I'll show you some of those, but that's not where I'm going today. So my casing is gonna be your regular black and blue, not quite. Not what would you call it, opaque, not that dark of a black, but pretty black where you're still going to see the blue flake like you would in a black and blue worm. And then my core is going to be this blue right here, which is going to make my tail, the little tip on my tail, and a little tip on the head. And this is my favorite blue right here. I have not found that. I got a few different kind of blues, and this right here, I have not found one that I like more than this. And I don't think I'll put no flake in this. I'm just gonna let this be the color of the blue. You'll see it. I think you'll like this too. And then the black, this is my go-to black right here, because it's not a thick black. So it'll be more or less like using a few drops to get a somewhat transparent black, but not thick. Whereas, see, like bait plastics black, this is thick. I could put one drop in this in a cup of plastic, and it wouldn't be even translucent enough to be charcoal. Where the lower works is a little bit less thick, I guess you could call it, where if I want to make a charcoal, a light gray charcoal, 1 or 2 drops of this and you can still see through it like it's almost not there. It just gives it that charcoal tint where there's no working with it. So since I want to see my blue flakes really good, I'm not going to use this today. I'm just going to use my regular Lure Works go-to black. And as I move along, you'll see what I'm talking about. And then this it's just going to take a single injector, and I'll explain things more at the workbench. Show you how the tubes really got to be lubed up and stuff like that, and I'll show you how I do that. And the plastic today is going to be good also. That's another thing I wanted to bring up, is I've been having a lot of trouble with having to vacuum my older plastics. I don't know if it's just because I let them get too old. I haven't been going through as much plastic as I do in a normal year because, you know, I bought that dirt up north there, and It's the big thicket. Been cleaning that out. I haven't been in my shop as much as I should, so my plastic's been sitting around a lot longer, and the resin, I guess, I can cook it and it'll get up to it'll get cooked and it'll be clear as water. It's perfect. But as soon as I put it in that vacuum pot to get the air out, it turns. And it doesn't smell smoked. It smells just like regular plastic. It's not burnt. I deal enough with burnt plastic. I know the difference. That it's not burnt. It just scorches or it turns. And I think it's because of old age. So this plastic right here is going to be good for that, because the two colors I'm using, it'll just wipe out that turned look. You know, those colors will take over. Whereas if I wanted a clear belly and a swim bait, or say I wanted to even make some clear casings for some core shot, I ain't using this. This ain't gonna work. I would have to get a brand new jug, which I'm anticipating having to do sometime this year. I hope I use up all my old stock and get rid of all that plastic and start with some brand new jugs and actually going back to what it used to be with the clear. All I can think of is age. I don't know what else. I'm at a loss for what's causing that. I've never had that problem before, but then again, I've never had plastisol sit around as long as this stuff has been sitting this year, 2025, since Christmas. I haven't been in here like I should, or I have been. And I don't think should's the right word. I haven't been in here like I have been in the past, going through this plastisol like crazy. I really, really slowed up, and I think it's just getting old. But when at the workbench, I'll show you what I'm talking about. On a couple videos back, I told you, and I had a few different solutions for it, and I had people write me some really good explanations, and everything I tried, it still don't work. It still turns out to be the same thing. So I think this is a good color to use, discolored plastic, and I want to use it up. So with all that being said, let me get y'all spinning around, and I'll get started and explain a little bit more about these core shots to you. So being over here at the bench, I can explain to you a little bit more how these molds work. I got the wrong half right here. I like to set the rods into the halves with the lining pins, the alignment pins, because it makes it close better. It's just my preference. It's not something you need to do. But in order to have these rods come off slide off of the shells easy, you have to lube them up. And this is just my technique right here. I've been doing it for years, and it works fine. As I just put them, I got this little bottom of a plastic jug, and a little rag. Use a little worm oil, just 4603 from Lure Works. Just pour a little bit on there. I give them a little roll like this. Let that kind of just coat that up real good. Some people use WD-40. Some people use like Crisco, that lard. And I've heard of people using just like plain vegetable oil. And then it's pretty cool the way these work. Like I said, in the past, in the beginning of time when core shots were not a thing, if you wanted to do a core, you really had to work on it, and a lot of times the rods didn't even get in the middle. You would just have to take a rod of your choice and cut it to fit in because you didn't have this. They didn't have this, so your rod would just have to sit up in here into the runner a little bit, and you'd have to hope that you could get it as best you can in the middle, because it would just flop around in there. But that was the only way to do it, so nobody really thought nothing of it. You know, they Well, that's what you got to do. You know, it just didn't have any idea of something like this. And the first course shot I've ever fooled with was AI. These AI angling moles right here, and I've been using them ever since. So I'm gonna put these over here back in the vise because they're ready to go. Nothing else has to be done to the mold now. So now my thing is cooking this plastic off. Get this mug all cleaned up. There's a lot of ways to clean these mugs. You know, I used to use different kind of cleaners, Windex sometimes. You want something that's going to cut the grease. But started using these Clorox wipes right here. It cuts the grease right out of there. Gets all the old plastic out. And they come out pretty clean. And I've been doing this for quite a while and haven't had any problems. So nothing like a nice clean mug to get started with. I'm gonna go a little bit less than 1 cup just because of expansion. And then when I put this in the vacuum, it is gonna swell up and I don't want to overflow it. I tried before vacuuming it out before cooking, and it does. It takes a lot of that moisture out of there, but it's still not enough. Not here where I live. Maybe some drier parts of the country, it's not an issue. But what I'm gonna do, because I don't know what diameter this plastic is exactly, I'm just gonna start off with 2 minutes and see what that looks like. As soon as that's done, I'll call you right back. All right, so that's 2 minutes. Starting to cook. See, it's trying to make the transition. But there's still a whole lot in here that's hasn't chemical reaction hadn't taken place yet. So from here on out, I'm only going to hit this for 30 seconds at a time because 30 seconds on high is it's a good way to keep it from actually overheating. Where if I decided that could normally if I was looking like 242 or 262 or anything, I would have started this with 3 minutes instead of 2. But being that it's just blend that I have going on, there's no way I'm doing that. That could wind up, like I said, just burning up my plastic. So here's another 30 seconds. It's a little bit better, but it's not near done yet. I'm not even going to measure the temp on this yet because I can just tell it needs another 30. It's still too thick. See, it hasn't had completed the cycle. So let me give it another 30 seconds. Then I'll get the old heat gun out and see where we stand. I know it seems like it's a little bit of monotonous, but sometimes getting your plastic right just takes some patience. My gun seems to be working good. I think that's about right, 80, 82, 83 out here. Go hit that knife. See, that knife was just in that plastic, so it's a little bit hot. See what we got now. And I know it might seem like now I could have hit it for another minute, but actually that does not always work right. 30 seconds after being stirred is better than 1 minute without being stirred, if that makes sense. See what we're climbing up to right here. 330. So see, it looks good, but it's not cooked yet. If I shot this into the mold right now, it would still be kind of sticky. It wouldn't lose its tackiness. I guess if you oiled it up real good, it may possibly not be so bad, but it's got to reach 350 to even. It says 350 cooks it, and it's done. But I actually like to bring it up into the 365 range if I can. And not only that, it microwaves and these heat guns, they vary. So if I go a little above 350, see, it's getting really close now. Look at all that air in it, though. Look at the amount of air in there. That's just because of where I live. I bet if I was over there in the desert Southwest, Arizona, something like that, this would probably look like water. It'd probably have no air in it whatsoever. I'm kind of jealous of that. Of course, I prefer my fishing over here on this end. I'm a Southeast Texas, Louisiana kind of fisherman, and I know everybody has their favorite places, but this just happens to be mine. All right, let's see where we're at now. See, that's it. 3, 6, there it goes. It's almost a little bit too hot, but it's not burnt. But you can see it's starting to lose its clearness, and I didn't even vacuum it yet. It's just this old plastic. Now I'm gonna cut this off while I vacuum that out. It's kind of a monotonous procedure. All right, so right out the vacuum pot, and that's what it looks like. It's not burnt. I know a lot of you guys are going to tell me it's burnt. It's not burnt, but that's what it looks like. I wouldn't even really use this on a video, but I'm going through this with you guys because just want you to know it's not always fun and games in a bait cave. We got issues to deal with like this all the time. So I'm gonna start this off with 4 drops. 4 drops of black. You'll see it took that black really well. So it's not like the plastic's no good. I think I'm gonna put 1 more drop in there. It's not quite as black as I'd like it. I'm gonna put 2. One ain't gonna cut it. There we go. I think that's gonna do it. Now, if I was using that other black I have from Bait Plastics, that would have been too much black already. I think that's good. Let me throw these blue flakes in here and see what happens. See if that winds up being a good looking black. So I'm just going to use this 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to drop that in there. I might want more than that. If I wasn't making these the way that I'm planning on today, I would put more than that. I think I'm still gonna add 1 more. I don't want to over flake them. Yeah, that's gonna work. Yep. It's gonna be just enough in there to show up where they need to show up. All right, so before this cools off, I'm gonna spin this camera around and get you over to the vise and shoot these bowls. All right, I think we're set up pretty good right here. Keep that blue stirred in there. Flakes have a tendency to want to sink. So this speed worm takes a lot of plastic. It's got to hold a little bit of pressure when you're doing these things because they have a tendency to want to cave in every now and then. Don't want to, like mash down with a lot of pressure, but you want to kind of just, give it a little bit. Yeah, maybe like rest your hand on it. See how that's sinking it and sucking that in real fast. Keep these. Oh no! I knew those speed worms took a lot of plastic, but I didn't. I thought I'd have enough of both. Let's see what it. I might actually ran out of plastic on this one. So let me let these cool, and I'll get right back with you. All right, welcome back. I think these have cooled. Did a little cleaning up. I have a bad feeling these did not fill all the way. Still a little bit tacky. I don't want to rush them, but that way we can talk a little bit. These have, these right here are going to have to slide off of the rods. So you got to let them, you got to let them get a little bit tough, toughen up, cure a little bit. You can't just have them just like raw plastic. But I really thought I had enough to hit this second mold. But it's been a while since I shot these speed worms, and maybe they're just using more plastic than I thought. See all these shims I got to put in here because I don't want to move my backstop if I don't have to. I even use another mold as a shim. Shot that last. I'm gonna let that cool a little bit more while I open up these speed worms. All right, so see it's a pretty good black and blue just to begin with, right? If I was just to leave just as it is, but that's not my plan for today. The way these work, let's see if that's still in the camera. And pull these out of here. All right, so see the rods are in here. So you can pull them out this way. Sometimes I like to pull them through the runner like this. It keeps my worm from getting too messed up. Whereas a lot of times I see that you can break them off like this too, and just have this one rod, like that, in there, and slide them off this way. I guess it's be user preference, however you want to do it. Now there's a nice core, and this is just a casing. So look at that, got a little flashing down here. That'll come off though. So what can happen? See that rod came down into here. So a lot of times what I do with these is I snip it off and then let the core actually be the tail. So that's kind of what we're going to do today, but I'm going to snip it a little bit higher. I'm going to cut a little bit more off right here. I'm going to cut a little bit more over here so I can have a blue tip. Let me get these other ones off of here. Save that runner. So I'll just show you right now. Maybe in order to get a blue tip on here, I was gonna count down like maybe 1, 2, 3. How about four of these little rings. Cut that off right there. And then maybe I'll go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like right here. That'll get rid of some of that flashing that I have to contend with. And then that's just going to sit back here in this mold like this, and then when I shoot the blue in it, it's going to fill all this in. And I'll get back to that in a little bit. Let's see if these 5-inch sticks came out all right. I sure hope I got enough plastic in there. So, yep, I got some air. See right there? Look at all that air. I can't believe I ran out of plastic. So now I gotta heat up and cook some more plastic. I'll do that off camera to not bore you. And see if I get these this batch of sticks right. Sorry about that. That's some of the problems we run into. Well, all right, you see round 2 is going to be good to me. Yeah, that's going to work. Got a little bit of denting, but it's the nature of this mold to me. Maybe I didn't hold enough pressure, or maybe I didn't shoot it hot enough, but I have that issue. But when it comes out in the wash, it's not going to matter. So that's my casing, and I'll just go ahead and pull these rods out. Show you what that's going to look like. Just an empty shell. All right, well, good. Back on track. All right, I got everything all cleaned up. Got a little pile of shells going. Got them trimmed, so really, I'm just gonna lay them back in here. You know, line up the egg sac. I guess they call that little egg sac. I might have to do a little bit more trimming. This is how I trim them the best I can in my hand. You can see I got the tops pretty close. But I can actually do a little bit better than that on the bottom. I got to take a little bit more off. Just so they kind of uniform. I won't be selling any of these. These are all just going to my personal stash. If I was gonna sell these, I would get all elaborate and lay them on a ruler, you know, get them really, really good. But I'm just trying to. This is just for the video purposes, showing you how to get started on something like this. I got some of these, and I think I got these right because I counted the rings. I can see where I'm not that good with my scissors anymore. They kind of crooked, but that's not going to hurt anything in the long run. Once that blue goes in there and fuses to it, that little crookedness ain't going to hurt. So you see, I set the casings in there like that. Now there won't be any more rods in it. So these will just have to make sure you don't pinch anything when you lay these back down on top. And they should set right in. Then they're kind of all ready to go. So now I got to work on the blue. And for the blue, it's going to be the same thing, same plastic. Do a little bit less than a cup, since it's going to have an extensive amount of moisture in it. Just going to pop this in here for couple minutes, get it started. I'll be using this phthalo blue. Showed you before. It's a really pretty blue. All right, so I got another cup out to vacuum. Looks pretty good. Still got that tint to it, but it smells like good plastic. Not that I'm smelling the plastic. You really shouldn't do that. It's not recommended. It's supposed to be low odor, and it really is. It's still fine. So let's see. 7 drops. Let me see what that's gonna. See how pretty that blue is. Look at that. Look at that. That's why it's my favorite blue. I might need a little bit darker than that. So what I put 7. Put 3 more. I was thinking 10 to begin with, but I always like to build it up slowly. How about 2 more? 12. We'll see, 12 drops. Well, 13 drops. Unlucky 13. Let's see what that gets us. I had contemplated putting some very fine, like 008 blue flake in here, but I'm not sure that's what I want to do. I think that's it right there. I'm gonna go with that. All right, I'm gonna bring you back over to the vise before this gets too cool. All right. So here comes the fun part. The cores don't always shoot properly. Sometimes the holes are obstructed. I tried to get the shells in there perfect so that don't happen. But there's always that possibility. So let's give it a go. And actually, the StickBaits, I usually have the less amount of problem with cores not shooting right. The stick's a little bit easier, I guess I'm trying to say. They don't clog up as easily as this speed worm does, and I'm thinking it could be an issue with the speed worm itself having to get a whole tail. Get that all cleaned up. I'll let this stuff cool off. I have to heat that plastic back up to do another batch, another run. I don't know, what do you call it, a batch or a run? I just like this blue. It stands out really well. Come on. All right. Trim that excess off of there. See, I didn't top those off. I probably could have, but it didn't suck it down that much. All right, the moment of truth, right? It's still a little bit warm, but I think it's gonna be all right. But just a different take on black. Look, see those dents? I don't know if that's caused because I didn't hold enough pressure, or because my ejection temp might have been too hot. I'm not sure. But anyway, like I said, these go in my own box, so I'm gonna live with that dent. But here's a good look at them. Those dents are kind of peculiar. I normally get those in the first on the shells, and then when I shoot the core in there, a lot of times they puff back up. I don't know if you've ever seen that happen before, but it's just a different version of black and blue. And like I said, I'm gonna actually run these as wacky rigs. So I'm having a little blue tips on each end and that flake in the middle. I wish they wouldn't have dented like that. And that's the kind of stuff I like to show you. Instead of cutting that out of the video, just show it to you. At least that's what happens. You know, that kind of stuff takes place all the time. All right. Let's see what these big old speed worms came out like. Right, here we go. It's like the tail's filled in and everything. That's what I was hoping for. Get a little better view here. So you got the nice blue tip. Let me get that in focus. Blue tips, and the blue tails, and of course it's just a regular old speed worm. They big, you know, it's kind of big speed worms, but I like. See, I still got denting on the tails. I could probably fool around with that and try to figure it out. It seems like what happens to me with these things, these kind of problems, is I'm trying to make a video, and that's going to happen. And then maybe about my third or fourth set, without knowing what I did to change anything, they just start going away. And I don't know why. Stuff I got to contend with right here. But like I said, here's another prime example of my own toolbox. And they're going in, and I'll be fishing with these. All right, well, for this batch right here, I heated the blue plastic up a lot hotter. I got it up to 375, almost 380. And I'll see if that does away with some of the denting problems. So let's take a look at these sticks first. Readjusted the camera where I might be able to see them a little better. Okay, so right off the bat, see a little dent right here. Maybe a little one right here. So more heat isn't the answer. But all the tips look good, don't they? These tips came out real good. Now see what I was telling you about the don't get them cut exactly perfect. I mean, look how they come out. Look at that. You wouldn't know I had those all jaggedy and crooked. I just wish the dents weren't in it. I'll be figuring that out. But see, remember how dented these shells were at one time? So they kind of get squared away a little bit when once that core goes down the middle. Well, this one stayed a little bit denting. But I mean, I only have that issue with core shots too. So it's definitely operator error. Because I'll take this same mold and shoot a solid color in there or a laminate, and it won't do that. It only does it when I'm trying to use it for what it's designed for. So anyway, here's another batch of speed worms. I like them to stay in the. I like to have them stay in there. They don't always do it, but I just think it looks cool. And look, more heat. These even dented some more. So it's not a heat thing. It's something about the way I'm shooting the core shots that are causing it. So what I'm thinking, next batch I'll back off on the heat a little bit. But anyway, I don't want to bore you with all that troubleshooting. I still got to get this flashing off here. You know that the heat gun takes that right off. Hit that with a heat gun. I mean, you can pull it off like this. I just do that because I pick at things. But man, you can hit that with a heat gun and it comes out just as smooth. If it wasn't for the dents, these things would be perfect, right? All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm sorry about those dents. I wish I could figure it out. I'm gonna keep fooling with it. I got a few more batches of those to run, and I'll let you guys know if I get it figured out. But in the meantime, I know there's a lot of you out there that probably use this mold a whole lot more than I do. I personally use that mold more for just pouring a solid color or a laminate in it more than I do a core shot. I haven't actually done any core shots in over a year. And when I used to do a lot of them, I never had that problem at all. One night I had to do almost 100 clear plastic cores for a project I was working on, and not a single dent. I don't remember having to throw any of them to the side or anything. They all came out perfect. So the mold is capable. It's me that's messed up. So if you're seeing this video and you know how to fix my problem and tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I'll either update this video or if I already posted by the time I get it figured out, I might make a little short down the line and show you what I'm doing wrong, or I might just do a whole nother core shot video. I think they're really cool molds, and I want to start using them more. I want to get those back into the mix of a lot of the lures I make. I've caught some really good fish on a clear core, or maybe a clear core with some really fine glitter in it, and a really dominant either chartreuse or red or blue core down the middle. They just look so fine in the water. They just have this weird look to them, and I've gotten some really good bites on them. So I'll be looking to make another video like that one. I want to start filling my wall back here up with equipment with more lures, and that's going to be one of them. I'm gonna save a whole rack just for core shots. If there's any other colors you'd like to see done like that, let me know, and I'll actually make a video doing those too. And other than that, that's going to be it for me today. I got a lunch date with my mom and dad, so I got to get cleaned up and get out of here. I got, let's see, got a couple bags made already, but I still need some more, so that ain't gonna happen today. I'll get to that maybe tomorrow. I got some free time tomorrow, and I'll get back out here and crank up the music and finish my black and blue project. But in the meantime, I'll be I got a whole bunch more stuff I want to show you guys, and I'm getting close to my like 500 subscribers on this YouTube channel, and I'm trying to think of a good giveaway for when I hit 500. When I go over that 500 mark, I know I'm definitely going to add some hand pours. I'm gonna do some or open pours, if you want to call them, or some open pour minnows, maybe some 4 and 5 inch, some kind of hyper shift, and then I'll probably draw two names. So the second name, I think I'm gonna do some injected swim baits, and I'll think of something really cool for that. So I'm still quite a bit of a good ways away from 500. So I'm just getting things together right now, my thoughts on what that giveaway is going to entail. But anyway, before I ramble on too much, we're well into September now. First week's about gone, so get out there and enjoy this weather. I know some of you guys are living in places right now where it's really cooling off and the leaves are changing and it's just beautiful out there. Don't squander those days. Down here in the South, we got a little ways to go before we start feeling the cool air, but we're gonna get some changes in the actual fish action as our days shorten up a little bit. You know, the fish gonna start acting different than they normally do, and that we're out of those dog days of summer now. So it's time to go out there and hit the water. And once again, I'm your old tired veteran. Don't forget about me, and by all means, don't forget to go fishing. And thanks so much for watching, and please be safe out there, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right.